Hey ladies, it's Dominga. There are practical, actionable steps that you can take so that you don't go insane. So I know today's a little different. I'm out in the pool instead of in my typical filming place, but I was hot. I know it's like the dead of winter everywhere else, but it's not here. I live in South Florida. I have a special set of qualifications to talk about today's issue, which is when your life feels like it is ever changing and just almost like you're not quite in the driver's seat of your body. Like it's just life is going and you were just sort of like a bystander. There are practical, actionable steps that you can take so that you don't go insane. And these are things that I'm practicing right now because there's so much in my life that has changed in the last 2 years. And I'll be brief because this is about you, not me. But my parents getting a divorce and then me moving across the country, my brother and my sister both having their own independent cross-country moves, and my dad as well. I forgot to mention his. And just being really far from everyone, and then having a very demanding career, and then trying to make time to do the things that fuel me, like YouTube and reading and just pouring into myself. And I also direct a food bank, and so there's always so many things going on at once. My cat's on his way over here. Hi, hello. There's always so many things that are going on for me at once that I have to actively practice like stabilizing techniques so that I don't go insane. Sir, please, please find your way. I'm going to give you 5 actionable steps that I practice that you can practice to keep just some stability in your life if in fact you're experiencing a lot of change or a lot of just like mental strain from thinking about whatever it is that may be feeling dense in your life right now. Number 1, and it kind of depends where you are in the world, but I live in America and the culture here is very hustle and bustle and churn and turn, and just I always feel like I'm on some level of a deadline, even if it's a weekend, because I don't know, I just feel like I'm running out of time to do everything. And who is enforcing this? Who knows? Like I just feel like someone is gonna come get me if I don't like do everything in the world in one day or less. So one thing that can just transform your life is like working through your head, like there is no rush, and you do not, and it's not even possible to do everything that your heart desires in an afternoon. And that anxiety that sort of drives us to be successful, whether it be like, I don't know, say you're like a nursing student, but you also have a YouTube channel and you have a dog and you have a boyfriend and you're a daughter to a demanding family, and say you also like, I don't know, bake cakes and sell them through the internet. You're gonna feel like you're juggling, doing all of those things. And so you just have to remember, like, no one is making you do things at a certain pace. Like you can carve out specific times to do what's most important, and then second important, then third important, but like the purpose of life is submitting to the flow of it. Like we were created to experience life, not to feel like everything has to be done today. And there's really not much more to that besides just doing the mental work and like sitting with the discomfort and the anxiety that comes with knowing like I have a whole laundry list of things to do and only so much time to do them, and everybody's day is only 24 hours long and half of it you have to sleep. Just give yourself grace and give yourself patience and reaffirm it, like reaffirm it over and over. And all of the times that you're reaffirming like I'm late to this, like everybody's more successful than me, and I didn't meet this quota and I didn't do that, in place of reaffirming those things, like absolutely force yourself to reaffirm, I have time. I'm right on time. Like I'm within my purpose. I'm within my destiny. And keep affirming those things because you're not late and you have time. And even if God had it that tomorrow was your last day, you were exactly on time for everything that you were supposed to get done in your life. There is no way to be outside of your destiny. So all is well. That's number 1. just slow down and chill out, okay? And this is also like a note from me to me. Number two, and this is namely for women because I don't really know anything about how to be a man, so I cannot help you there. But this is for the girlies, and this is for the people that are somewhat feminine presenting. I know that there is more to life than the way that I present myself, so take this with a grain of salt. But I really like this whole rhetoric that's been going on the internet about being low maintenance to be high maintenance. And so there are certain things that you can do to make the daily turn of getting ready feel less like a huge event. So for me, that means on Sundays, which happens to be today. I don't know if this video will be edited on the internet by Sunday, but today is Sunday for me. So I know after this video, I'm going to go wash my hair and like really get in there because I know I'm not doing this again until the following Sunday. And this also depends on your hair type. But like I'm going to wash my hair, blow dry straight, and it's easier for me to wear my hair straight because when I wake up in the morning, like it's done and I leave instead of have to like completely augment my hair from its natural state before work, or like, I don't know if you have a protective style or if in fact your hair is naturally the way that you wear it or whatever the case, but you're gonna have to find a way to be closer to your finished product that you can elongate. It's almost like meal prepping but for your appearance. So that's one of the things that I do. And then like for me, I don't like sitting down in a nail salon. I don't like how long it takes. I don't like how expensive it is. I don't like the kind of like soreness and the grip that acrylics have on your nail, and they're like achy for the first 2 days if you haven't had them done in a while. And then when they break, you're risking it like ripping your whole nail off. I could go on all day about why I don't like the nail salon. So I'm a press-on girl. So I've spent my time figuring out how to get my press-ons to last 2 weeks. Have I mastered it? No, but at least it'll make me 9 days. So this brand is super fun. It's Sally Hansen, and I think I can show you. Let's see if I can like get it to shift focus really quick. Yeah. They're like cat eye and very fun, but make your life a little bit easier day to day. And when that includes your appearance, then you're going to feel better because you look better. Number three is just pick a day of the week where you're going to actually do all the things that you put off. And for me, that's like opening my mail and looking at my bills and then paying them. Like that's just my personal thing. Who knows what it is for you, but like carve out the time to do the things you put off. Another thing for me is like cleaning out the fridge, like take out everything that we're not eating or that's spoiled or whatever, and like clean it, organize it, like do what you need to do so that you don't end up on Friday feeling this like huge weight out because of all of the things that you didn't do, and now you feel disheveled headed into your weekend. You can't even have fun on your weekend because you have to catch up from the week. And I know like it's hard, especially if you're working full-time or you're a full-time student, or you just have like a lot of things to do in your life that take your time. The things that I'm telling you are going to take they're going to take a special amount of discipline for you to say, you know what, I am worthy of these things being taken care of. I'm worthy of that. Because what you're communicating to yourself, if you just let it go, like you have no plan for life, is it will pile up on you. And then the only question you have to ask yourself is, well, I must not like myself very much if I won't even give myself the opportunity to feel good in my space, in my skin, in my life, because I'm not taking care of these things because I am too overextended. And if you are too overextended, which I can tend to be, sometimes you're going to have to like cut some things. Like I've made, the word is not excuse. It's like I've made an exception for myself in certain areas where I know like I'm not a robot. I can only meet certain levels of demand or I'm going to burn out. So for example, there's a class that I'm taking that it's important that I finish and get the credentials for before my next job, which is like it's coming soon. It's coming very soon. Like I have months to pull off something that takes like kind of a year, but it's fine. So I want to be the kind of person who can just churn out YouTube content every day. Like I'd love to give you a video every day, but it's not realistic for someone who is working full time, who's also in the middle of completing this course. Whereas somebody who does YouTube full time might be able to sit down 2 days a week and batch content and give you something 6 of the 7 days a week. So instead of holding myself to a standard that somebody else could hold themselves to, I have to be practical about the other things that are functioning in my life instead of punishing myself for not being able to perform 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because like I said, we're not robots. Like, you're not. And my mom always says, your body has limits on you, so you can respect them, or they'll come after you. They will sit you down. You ever get sick and you're like, wow, I really don't have time to be sick right now. But maybe if I would have slowed down like incrementally over time, I wouldn't be out of commission for 2.5 weeks. Just saying. I'm also preaching to the converted here. Like, I'm someone who like really needed to hear this at one point, and then like I'm finally starting to adopt these things. So I hope that like I'm giving you a little, here, please take this gift. Please. This is my peace offering. Listen to me. Number 4 is all about gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. I think if you spend any time on social media or just like listening to anyone who's like millennial or younger, you know that all anybody says is like, gratitude is currency, energy is currency. But I really do believe it. Like, I feel like my life overall feels like whatever thought I'm like ruminating on the most is the theme. If I'm in my head like, oh, I didn't do this and I'm never going to get that, and my house is out of order, and I need to bathe my cat, which is true. Like, he really does need a bath and he needs to be like combed. Like, I just feel like there's so many things on my to-do list that I haven't done, and I'm like frantic and overwhelmed. Girl, you really have to, as my 7th grade, is that right? No, I was in high school. It might have been my freshman year. My freshman year English teacher, her name was Miss Natalie, and I love her. She's also a cancer survivor, and she is a boss. I haven't talked to her in like 10 years, but she stuck with me. She would always say, it's time to stop the machine. And she would just like let us read one day in class. Like, and it changed my life because it gave me permission in my adult life to do exactly that. Like, just stop the machine. Because when you slow down, you can also grant yourself the opportunity to show gratitude and to focus on the little pockets of your life that you really are grateful for. I mean, I promise you there's something in your life that you could say, I'm really grateful that this is happening to me or for me, even despite everything else that's going on. And I really do promise you, like, if you can get yourself to think glass half full, like, everything's going to start feeling more that way. And if you think in lack, everything's gonna feel more that way. I think humans have these bias affirming fallacies where like you'll see one thing and then your brain will just look for more to affirm it, whether it be good or bad, so we can use that to our benefits. And just think about all of the good things. Like, if I'm stressed over getting videos up on YouTube because I'm tired because I worked all week and I already like shot so many videos for my actual like full-time job, imagine like I didn't have the access or the resources to do this. Like, imagine I didn't have a mic. Imagine I didn't have a camera. Like, this camera is literally $10,000 and I have it. It's not somewhere else that I have to find the money to get it. Like, I have these things now. I have the ability to sit down in a quiet place and focus and feed my own interests. Whereas some people live in households that are too loud where they wouldn't even be able to get a word out. So these are the things that you just have to like force yourself to reframe. You can look at the glass half empty or you can look at the glass half full. And at the end of the day, it ends up being your fault. So like, if you can't pull yourself out of it and like decide that your life is better instead of worse, I'll leave that up to you to decide whose fault that is. Number 5, and I think this one is my favorite, and it's just to smother yourself in self-love. And I think a lot of the times we like look outside of ourselves for this, you know, like you might want a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or like you're looking for your parents to affirm you and be like, oh, you did so good at that, or you really impressed us and you made us proud. And it's always really nice to have people affirm you and to tell you that you're fulfilling whatever they had in mind for you. But above that should be how you feel about yourself. And like, have that conversation with yourself. Like, find a time in the day to do it, whether it be the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning or the last thing you do like when you're in bed and you're kind of cricketing your little feet. Like, really stop and think about all of the things in your life that you've done. Create that moment in your day to really just sit there and be like, you know what, this is something that I've created. This is something that I did well. It doesn't even matter if it's only one thing. Like, use the one thing as power to build to the next thing, and be your own best friend. Because as people say, you know, we were born alone. We're gonna alone. You need to be your own best friend, and there is nobody coming to save you besides me. I love you. I'll always be here to at least talk you through it. But like, you have to be your own best friend. And the world is harsh and people will let you down. And sometimes you can overperform and overachieve, and there will still be no one to tell you you did that. So guess whose job that is? It's yours. You're hired. I love you. I'll see you next week. And remember, you were made on purpose, with intention, for a reason. And I love you. I'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.